let the debate continue. Let's take on the last but not least story today. You know, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been constrained to refute claims of targeted killings of Christians in Nigeria. Describing the report as misleading and inaccurate, the acting spokesman of the ministry, Kiniebi Ebiemfa, remarked that the report appears to be an attempt to influence foreign governments, particularly the U.S., to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern, CPC. In diplomacy, Asukwa, there is no place for intemperate language.
Exactly, because this story actually came from, I think there was an archbishop or so who appeared in the Congress, to talk about the killing. But it doesn't mean that this government would even condone anything like that, killing of people based on the fact that they are either Muslims or Christians, and
that's targeted
killing, because the way it sounded, because the congressman was saying that he has to see Donald Trump for him to go and report and things like that. It wasn't like, so I think the ambassador here, the U.S. ambassador in Nigeria, should be in a better position to even advise.
To paint a clearer
picture of what is really happening in Nigeria. And look at the gains that we have recorded, the government have recorded in terms of, bringing down insecurity. That is part of the successes. And for somebody to all of a sudden want to bring religious coloration into anything that would,
or if you like, bring the roof down.
Let me not say bringing the roof, but at least trying to bring religious, issue into this kind of a matter, particularly now that the government is making everything humanly possible to see how the country is being secured. I think it is not right. And I thankfully, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they were able to come out immediately and not allow this to linger for long, with a statement saying that, no, this is not what or how this should go. Or the language that they used was, was really, really intemperate. I like that language, There are some words that you use when it comes to diplomacy. So if at all the congressman wanted anything concerning an issue that was debated or brought into the floor of the Congress, he should have reached out to Nigeria to say, is this true? Before you want to pass it on. And I feel that the federal government is not stepping back at this. I know they will still reach out again, perhaps to the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, to see how they can reach out to either the congressman or whoever that is involved, to see how they can deal with this matter, so that it doesn't escalate into a diplomatic spat.
Well, at least the so-called second Antichrist, Adolf Hitler, said, when diplomacy breaks down, war starts.
I think the report of the U.S. House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee was based on a number of factors. First, they relied on the report by Open Doors. It's a Christian NGO. And then the Observatory for Religious Freedom in Africa. But one thing we should take home is that this report covered essentially 2019 to September 2024. So, to September 2023. And this current government came in May 2023. So it only took part in maybe between just some 3-4 months. So essentially this report is about what happened, in the preceding years before the current president came in. And I think that the person that gave testimony, Bishop Wilfred Anagbe of Diocese of Makurdi, proudly spoke to his objective conditions. That is what is happening in his state, Benue State, and essentially Christian community that has suffered a lot of attacks. So I think if you invite such a person, speaking from his own subjective experience, you may likely draw the conclusion that has been drawn by. But I don't think it's a true reflection of what is happening now, in this country, because I think it's a lot of, even though we have a Muslim ticket,
running the
if
country.
you look at Borno State, for instance, you know, the atmosphere has been quite conducive, even though we have Muslim majority. In terms of persecution of Christians, I don't think Borno State can be singled out for that. And the current president is a Christian, but I mean, he's a Muslim, but his wife is a Christian. He's only a pastor in the Redeemed Church.
Yeah.
And I think most so a lot of politicians who are Christian will hardly know. BC Akoli, for instance, I never knew that he's a Muslim.
I wouldn't have thought about it here.
You know, look at when the current president was in Lagos as governor. He returned mission schools. That was the first thing he did.
Yeah, exactly.
When he came here, returned that was taken over by military government several years ago. So such a person, you can't say that is a religious
bigot. Yeah.
You know, but I think that we should make a decision between state-sponsored persecution of faith and non-state actors persecution, which Boko Haram, terrorist organizations, they are not representing the Nigerian state.
All right.
You know,
Asukwa, your intervention. Yeah.
No, I think the government will just have to, just like I said earlier, the government should just look at how they can deal with this and clarify things appropriately. Because if they don't, at the end of the day, the man that is there in the US, he will be looking at one particular side, and that is where the Minister of Foreign Affairs will have to step in to see how they can reach out and then explain these things, because state persecution is different from non-state persecution. And I'm not sure there's anywhere in Nigeria today that you say, oh, perhaps maybe I might be wrong, anywhere that you say, oh, they are killing people because they are Christians or because they are Muslims. Okay. Yes, there will be pockets of violence.
In the heydays of Boko Haram, that could have been.
Yeah, it could have been. But now, hardly will you hear things like that, because it means that the government is making far-reaching efforts to make sure that...
To reach out.
But to reach out to also decimate, those terrorists, those who want to put Nigeria into disrepute. And that is what the government is doing. And that is where I want the minister, to reach out and say, these are the efforts that you are making. And that with this kind of, issues about we being persecuting Christians, is how do you want the soldiers, those who are putting their lives on the line, to feel? You understand? So please, the government will have to look at it in a very
quickly,
diplomatic way.
The last but not least call is coming from Jos Plateau State. Tony, good afternoon. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there, my brother. How are you? Happy Sunday.
I greet you. Yeah. Quickly.
Thank you. I think before I step into the other program you could just discuss about El Rufai, what I will say is that El Rufai, that he is one of the founder of APC, along with our Buhari, our former President Buhari. He should try to emulate Buhari as our former president, the man of truth. Buhari, our former president, does not mean if he lost presidential bidding, you will see him turning around to be doing a different thing. But our former president never did that. He tried presidency for 3 times. He never changed. You are telling me going contrary to what you know him for.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Tony, we got you first time. Gentlemen, the backroom boys say time is tight, so we must thank you, folks. Thank you, Wale Adeoye, for coming.
Thank you.
Asukwa James, I greet you too.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, folks, that will just about do it on Journalist Hangout for this Sunday. Join us tomorrow for the regular episode, which hits your airtime at 5 p.m. You may also watch a repeat broadcast of this particular episode tonight at 11:30. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.